Year's Software-Defined Radio Academy 2021. Welcome everybody who's watching our live stream. Greetings to the virtual Friedrichshafen ham radio visitors, also from the HAMRadio World, who are following the stream here. Together with me here are my colleagues, that is Michael Hartje, Delta Kilo 5 Hotel, my partner in the organization of the Software-Defined Radio Academy, and our colleagues from the European GNURadio Days, which are Jean-Michel Friedt and Hervé Boeglen. And we're sitting all distributed across Europe. So I'm sitting somewhere in the center of Bavaria, a couple of kilometers north of Munich. Michael Hart is sitting in Bremen, and Jean-Michel Friedt is in Besançon, and Hervé Boeglen is in Poitiers, which is the actual location where the European GNURadio Days are meant to take place on site, if we didn't have Corona. So here we are. And so what do we have? What is the SDRA21? First of all, it's the 7th SDRA, the 7th Software-Defined Radio Academy we are implementing, we are having, and we're looking back on quite some quite a number of talks which we were able to record and which we were able to bring to you. And this year, well, as in the past year, which is going back to our cooperation with the European GNURadio Days, we are going to present for 2 days. In the beginning, we just had 1 day in Friedrichshafen, but now we're having 2 days. So the topic of SDR is growing, and this is gaining momentum and gaining attention. The first day, which is today, that's the talk. That is the day with our cooperation with the European GNURadio Days. So today we have a very, very strong focus on GNU Radio. And there is another day. There is tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, and on that Sunday, we're going to bring to you other talks that are not so much related to GNU Radio, but to other SDR topics. And I'm very happy that we have this cooperation because it fits perfectly well together, and it makes a lot of sense to keep these communities together. Well, GNU Radio is a specialty of our colleagues in France, and well, the German Amateur Radio Club is hosting, well, all the other stuff up, as I would put it. Well, why is the SDRA called SDRA? Because we are going, or we thought about in the beginning, we want to be a academy, which means we want to train people. We want to give you a possibility to learn, because we understand that when you start your first steps into software-defined radio, you have a steep learning curve in front of you. And we want to make this kind of learning easier by giving you interesting talks. Well, not a university program that binds you for a couple of years, but rather short and easy to understand and well, good introductory talks. But nevertheless, the SDRA also has a bridge function. We want to have a bridge function. We want to bridge between the industry on the one hand, academia on the other side, and the public, of course, radio amateurs who are going more and more into the field of software-defined radio. And well, last but not least, who we are. The SDRA is a project within the German Amateur Radio Club, DARC. Microphone to you, Hervé.
Okay, thank you, Markus. Welcome to everybody. I'm going to talk a little bit about the European GNURadio Days that takes place, which took place on the 24th and the 25th this week, and we had quite a lot of people. It was a really nice event. So when did it start? This conference, it started in 2018 in Lyon, which is a long time ago when conferences were about people meeting physically. No COVID at that time. The idea was to have a complement to the US GRCon conference and something that also is quite where you find a lot of people talking about SDR is the FurStreaming. I suppose that a lot of people know FurStreaming. The idea here is to aim. The aim is at fostering collaboration between academic, industrial, and hacker GNU Radio community. That was the main idea when Jean-Michel and some other colleagues had this idea to create this event. Thanks to the COVID, I can't say it like that, in 2020, we had to cancel the event that was going to take place in Poitiers, but we had some contributions, and we got in contact with HAMRadio guys like Markus, and in fact the works we had could be presented. They accepted, the SDRA team accepted to take these works for SDRA, and so a collaboration started, and that's the reason why we are here also this year, and we are really glad. Really like to thank you about this collaboration. If you want to have some details about what happened in the preceding days in Poitiers on Thursday and Friday, you've got here on the slide, you've got the links, especially the link of the website and all the presentations and all the tutorials, because we had quite a lot of tutorials are still available on YouTube, because we've got a YouTube channel. So Jean-Michel, I think it's your turn for the next slide.
So just a quick reminder for the audience who is not familiar with GNU Radio and why we believe that it's best suited to be presented in the framework of SDRA as well. SDRA is about software-defined radio for ham amateur radio communication, and most often I hear people using readily available software such as SDR Sharp, Linrad, GQRX, where you can have access to most demodulation schemes. GNU Radio is not about just accessing readily available software. GNU Radio is a set of signal processing toolboxes, and that makes the radio frequency digital signal processing, discrete time signal processing much more enjoyable, as opposed to post-processing recorded signal using MATLAB, Python, Octave. GNU Radio will make your experience with software-defined radio much more enjoyable. And that does not mean that your signal processing basics is made easier. Signal processing, discrete time signal processing is still as complex as it was, but GNU Radio will lower the entry step. So as you can see here in one example of a set of processing where we're doing these correlations, the context of correlation through the Fourier transform is still as complex, but GNU Radio flowchart will make it much easier for you. Now, I would advise you, if you wish to have a better understanding about the power of GNU Radio, to have a quick look at the bottom link where Daniel Estevez, who is going to present later as the SDRA, is the winner of a challenge that we had, and he has made an awesome presentation on how he addressed demodulation and understanding, decoding of the signal that we had challenged the contributors and attendees of European GNU Radio Days to understand. So that is a context where we believe that GNU Radio will bring you a new insight beyond these readily available software of SDR Sharp, GQRX, Linrad, and others. So thank you for attending, and back to the SDRA organizers.
Okay, so hopefully my internet connection is now stable enough to say hello to everybody. Thank you for joining the channel here. Just to talk a little bit about this slide, we want you to generally understand SDR better than before this SDRA. You should be able to use SDR and especially the toolbox GNU Radio in your own projects. You should understand GNU Radio better after this day, discover new ways to contribute to the community. You know, there is a very active community in several lists. Make you enthusiastic about things you can do now and you couldn't do 15 years ago. This is a very impressive story of SDR. We want you to show how to have great fun with SDR, GNU Radio, in the domain of amateur radio. And hopefully this is one of the aims you are reaching after these 2 days of a lot of talks and most interesting information for you. Next slide.
So there are a couple of new things also. The SDRA is also progressing and changing, and we are also learning things, of course. We're not just teaching things, we're also learning things. And what's new? Obviously, the seamless cooperation with European GNU Radio Days, thanks to our partners. A big thanks to my colleagues once again. And we've, in the planning phase, we've thought a lot about what we're going to do, what we're going to change, and if there is room for enhancements. We found that there is, first of all, by introducing panels. And last year we still had breaks, but this year we decided to have panels. And and another enhancement is that the GNU Radio Amateur Radio Community Meeting is now a part of the SDRA, because we have those communities here in this event. And of course, there is also we're part of the HAMRadio fair, the virtual fair, the HAMRadio World, which is if it is physically then located in Friedrichshafen. There is the virtual HAMRadio World. It is an interactive one-to-one virtual clone of the trade fair in Friedrichshafen, and we're also part of that virtual event. And the SDRA is ever growing, and in the meantime, we're about 1/3 of the overall HAMRadio overall program. Yeah, obviously that's a reason to be proud, but of course it's just a matter of development over time, because the topic is ever gaining more attention. And the panels, and there is some more about the panels later. Michael.
We should explain what is a talk. Well, All talks were pre-recorded for quality reason. As you remember, my network is unstable today, and so it's a good idea to pre-record this. The short live introduction, introductory moderation to present the speakers was already done live or is done live. Then we play the pre-recorded talk. While the talk is being played, feel invited to comment in YouTube chat. After the talk, the speaker will answer the incoming questions live. Interaction between the speaker and audience after the talk will be available. Hopefully, this is a good idea. So the next question is, what is a panel? Blocks of talks are similar topic with a similar topic are collected together to a panel. Well, sometimes it's not so similar, and we hope the discussion will be interesting for everybody who is entering the discussion. New concept of panel after each block means speakers of different talks want to discuss. And this may be controversy. Yeah, fine. And if it's not, so hopefully the audience will give some input. Panels are also kind of time buffer in case we need to catch up if things went wrong, and well, it could be. And we want you to keep in the panel. We want you to keep focused instead of losing you in a break. Okay, if you get some water or some coffee, try to drink it or refill it when you are on the panel and see it is not your discussion. Okay, next foil, please.
Yeah, it's my part to present the program overview. Well, we're not in a live program or in an on-site program. So you're all sitting in front of a computer. Just check our website, https://2021sdra.io, and go to the tab program. There you have plenty full of information what's going on in those 2 days. We have a total of 22 blocks altogether of content. The Saturday will be filled with fundamental and, well, partly in terms of the topic, extreme talks at the beginning to show the wide span. We have a section that I had summarized by homebrew radios and transmitters. We have a section networking radios and transmitting computers. And in the evening, we have the GNU Radio Amateur Radio Group meeting. And tomorrow, there is a huge block about spectrum analytics, and another huge block, which is about SDR and teaching, academia, and research. So that's those 2 days. And just go to the website, and you'll really find everything you need to know. And, of course, here we're on YouTube. You're already in the stream. The entire 2 days will be on YouTube as a stream. And additionally, we're going to cut the stream into individual contributions afterwards so that you can tune into all of those individual talks and have a look at those talks again. And each talk will be a separate YouTube video then. And, well, there is some legal stuff also. Let me comment on that. In your question, your comment within the YouTube chat, falls under your usage contract, which you have with YouTube, and so there is no, European data protection based legal interaction between the audience and the SDRA, but only between the audience and YouTube. And referring to our speakers, they've all given their permission that we can broadcast them on YouTube. So some other things about YouTube, about the records which we've had. I've just looked up those figures before. we're counting more than 100 videos, 100 talks. We've counted more than 3,450, I think now, 3,462 very recently subscribers. In the overall existence of the SDRA, we've counted more than 19,000 hours of playtime and more than 170,000 views of talks, and since the numbers are going up now, more than 1.6 million thumbnail impressions, which is quite a number. The numbers are, of course, not so big as if I was going to give you some hints about how to put some mascara on my face or whatever. There, the channels mostly have more viewers, but considering that we have a very specialized topic, I think these numbers are quite respectable already by now. 25% of the audience are from Germany, 14% are from the United States, and smaller numbers are from all other countries. So that's roughly our audience where you generally come from. And quite finally, I'd like to say thanks to 5HH. Michael, that's your turn. Sorry.
Okay. For the audience, we have a little marker in who should present the slide, and I saw my shortcoming. Okay, our video team has done a remarkable amount of work already a long time before, and who is a contributor to the conference. He had some contact with Sebastian. And the team around Sebastian Kipp, Deal 5 Whiskey November, deserves our gratitude for recording all these talks, supporting the HAMRadio World admins as well, and contributing to strategy discussion within the DARC. It was a long time before this conference, as well as mastering and providing their equipment without charge. Well, Sebastian, many, many thanks for that. Investing their spare time to make this all here happen. Thank you, Sebastian, Torben, and Marc, for your grateful work. So the next foil, or is it the last one?
That's my last word. Have fun.
Have fun all.